Kia ora and welcome. My name's ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach. Today, we are taking a look at Helene Fischer with Hand in Hand or Hand in Hand. I'm doing things a little bit differently. My internet's just gone down. I'm hotspotting myself. So let's just roll with it and we'll see what she's up to with her vocal technique.
Wie oft wollte ich halten und doch alles verändern. Wie oft habe ich mir eingeredet, ich fühle mich besser als gestern. Meine Lippen waren still, doch die innere Stimme laut. Hab gewartet.
You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of Helene Fischer's music, but she's just such a freaking fantastic singer, isn't she? So we've got this da 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 da. We've got this chest voice quality lower in the range, a little bit of air coming through as well. I mean, look, we've got to get somewhere to grow from, but you've got just this like tiny bit of slack coming in at the start. Let's just go back on that. Let's get these lyrics up, Zoe.
Wie oft wollte ich halten und doch alles verändern. Wie oft habe ich mir eingeredet, ich fühle mich besser als gestern.
Wie viel habe ich mich eingeredet? You can kind of sense that the larynx wants to drop a little bit lower in order to like help her to get these notes a little bit easier. But like, please, I'm not poo-pooing Helene Fischer. Like, I know that she's in the middle of this insane tour, or like this insane show that she's putting on. So what happens is as the muscles get really worked, they start to get a little bit kind of fixed in one position, and we just need to work on bringing them back down again. I mean, she sounds amazing.
Ich fühle mich besser als gestern.
There, ich fühle mich besser. You would kind of like in a perfect vocal, ich fühle mich besser als gestern, and you would allow the larynx to go down. But again, that's like a little bit about like, where did this come in the show? How much singing has she done, previously in the show? You're seeing a lot of muscle work going on here. So it's telling me, that this is definitely not the first song in the show.
Ich fühle mich besser als gestern. Meine Lippen waren still, doch die innere Stimme laut. Hab gewartet, doch gewartet worauf? Wie oft wollte ich Glut, doch war da nichts mehr als Asche. Wie oft war ich doch dankbar für all das Gute, was ich hatte. Die Gedanken kaum stehen, meine innere Stimme laut. Ich hab gewartet, jetzt weiß ich worauf. Jetzt steh ich hier.
Oh, I saw her on the thing that she was going to do some sort of like crazy acrobatics. So anyway, if you do not know who Helene Fischer is, she is literally like Germany's, I suppose, most famous singer. I know you might have no idea who she is, but she's actually the 9th highest, well, a couple of years ago, I think, she was the 9th highest grossing female entertainer in the world, just to like give you an idea about how famous she is in the German speaking world. She's amazing and she's been around for quite a long time. So let me just pull up the lyrics because again, I'm improvising here without my actual desktop computer. Okay, so you've got the Wie oft wollte ich Glut, doch war da nichts mehr. War da nichts mehr. Okay, so you've got here Wie oft wollte ich Glut, doch war da gar nichts mehr als Asche. So she wanted to have that that sort of like that burning fire, at the end, the embers of a fire, but at the end there's only ashes. So she's sort of talking about that she wanted something and there ended up being something less than there at the end. Die Gedanken kaum still, meine innere Stimme laut. So basically she's saying that her thoughts were silent, but her internal voice was really, really loud. Ich habe gewartet, jetzt weiß ich worauf. So she was waiting for something and now she knows why she was waiting. So this is sort of like an internalized song about that sort of internal fight, I suppose, with yourself. So far, yeah. So let's just go back on. We're going to hear these slightly higher chest voice sounds here. Constantly worried that something is not working, but we'll just assume that it is. Let's just go back on that bit.
Ich hatte die Gedanken kaum still, meine innere Stimme laut. Ich hab gewartet. Jetzt weiß ich worauf.
That's actually relatively low in the female chest voice register. Da, 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 da. When we're trying to go down low, as I said, it feels like her larynx kind of wants to go a little bit lower. I mean, look, Helene Fischer, she's got so much money and she's so famous, like she could do whatever she wants, yeah. But I'm just saying for you, if you're struggling to hit those low notes, you can put your fingers in your larynx and go, we want to take it down a little bit. Da, 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 da. Jetzt weiß ich worauf. And so we're allowing that larynx, I always yawn when I do lower larynx, so we're allowing that larynx to just go down, and that's going to allow a little bit more space for the tone, but also it's allowing the space for the tone and allowing the muscles to relax, especially when we're that low in the range. We don't want to go, jetzt weiß ich worauf, because you can hear it kind of sounds a little bit pressed in that moment. I'm not saying Helene Fischer is pressed. Please don't read into that.
Jetzt weiß ich worauf. Jetzt steh ich hier und du siehst mich auch. Ich bin bereit, dir blind zu folgen, ohne Angst. Ich kann es fühlen unter meiner Haut. Das ist ein Neubeginn mit dir, Hand in Hand. Ich weiß, es gibt.
Okay, so we can immediately hear there as well. There's a lot of brilliance coming into the sound, and we sort of, it's terribly technical in singing, isn't it? We say that the voice sings better at particular parts of the range. It really is what we say, you know, like no, we singing teachers, maybe you call it something different, but you can hear, let me get the lyrics. So many people comment in the comments that I need to learn the fucking lyrics. So here we go. I'm learning them. Ich stehe hier und siehst mich auch. So we've got ba-da-da. I really need to know what note I'm on. Actually, again, lyrics, yeah, taking the note. Ich stehe hier und du siehst mich auch. So we're very much in that thicker vocal fold now as we've gone further up in the range. You might feel like this is like, so high, but it's really right in that sort of like Bermuda Triangle of the female passaggio with the chest voice. So if this is too high, taking the key down might not be a very good idea because it's also the vigor of the beginning is quite low. So practice, and you need my free C lessons down in the description below.
Das ist ein Neubeginn mit dir, Hand in Hand.
So you can sort of hear the little bit of breath coming in there. I genuinely don't think that that's like, oh, she's putting breath. Es ist ein Neubeginn mit dir, Hand in Hand. Look, lyrics. Look, when you're doing these really, really, really long shows, and you know, she does do these fantastic, this is from the arena tour. You know, you're talking about these ginormous shows. Your voice is allowed to get tired. So what happens is when we use the voice a lot, the vocal folds themselves get a little bit, they just get a little bit tender. And so with that little bit of swelling that goes on, which is totally normal, it can just get a bit uneven for the vocal folds to come together. So we're not going to like write home about that little bit of air in there. But you can hear that she's using a little bit more of the thinning than if we would take like full loud chest voice. I'm sure we're going to get up to that as we're going in.
Hand in Hand. Ich weiß, es gibt sowas wie Bestimmung, also nehme ich es dankbar, dich nicht mehr zu vermissen. Ich sehe mich in dir, die Gedanken werden laut und ich höre auf zu warten, alles hier, was ich jetzt brauch. Jetzt stehen wir hier.
excuse me, but oh my God. I loved Helene Fischer before, and now I think I love her even more. This is so hard. People cannot express to you how hard this is to hold on to something and be in the air and make it look firstly that lovely and gentle. But she trains for months. Yeah, I was watching something. There was a documentary all about her preparing for one of her arena tours, I think last year or something. I'll find it on YouTube when my internet's working again. I'll put a link in the description below, because you really should watch it even with subtitles, because you really hear and you see how much work goes into these shows, like months and months and months of preparation and practice. Anyway, let's get back to the vocals. Let's go back on that. Wow. And then nothing's changed when she climbs onto this dude.
Also nehme ich es dankbar, dich nicht mehr zu vermissen. Ich seh mich in dir, die Gedanken werden laut.
So we're hearing again lyrics, Zoe, yeah. So we've got this. Ich seh mich in dir, die Gedanken laut. I know that's not the words, yeah. But I've kind of lost my place in the music. So we've got, again, it's a very similar vocal quality. We're not really hearing a lot of inflection with the consonants. She's allowing the lyric and actually allowing the performance to kind of take the focus. And I feel like her song is almost underpinning the performance rather than it being the main part of the performance, if you know what I mean. It's going together rather than sort of the performance kind of boosting her voice in this moment. We're seeing a lot of work going on here in the throat. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Ich weiß, es gibt sowas wie Bestimmung. Also nehme ich es dankbar, dich nicht mehr zu vermissen. Ich seh mich in dir, die Gedanken werden laut. Und ich hör auf zu warten, alles hier, was ich jetzt brauch.
Love it. So we got die Gedanken werden laut. So, I mean, look, someone at Helene Fischer's level, she's been doing this for a long time, people. She doesn't, this is why it looks so easy, but it's because she's done so much training. So you can see there the work going on. She's allowing the larynx to rise for the pitch, which needs to happen to keep those vocal folds thicker further up in the range. But what she's got, it's just very, very, it seems so easy because she doesn't have a lot of jaw tension. There's not hell of a lot going on here. And so that is what is making us believe that it's sort of she's chilled as a cucumber. We're really actually looking for that little amount of work going on in the jaw and kind of that release rather than sort of holding on to the jaw. This is just a beautiful example of really great technique. If you think that that's not hard, I dare you to do a push-up. She was literally holding on to the dude like that and still singing. That deserves a slow clap. You know what? I know that she does not live very far away from me. And I know which gym she goes to. So I'm very tempted to just go in and just be like, show me the ways of what fitness routine you go through, you machine. She's amazing. Oh my God. Okay. I cannot stress to you how difficult that is to hold on to that level of body tension and still sing like that. I have taught dancers for many, many years. Helene Fischer is a fabulous dancer. And one of the biggest issues that dancers face is that they grip too much in the abdominal muscles. Well, actually grip kind of everywhere in general, too much. Ballet dancers tends to be, a lot of the bum and a lot of the back. And so what we're looking to do is to engage the deep muscles of the abdominals, but not the external abdominal muscles. So that's very hard to keep it. She literally, like, in midair got onto his foot and you barely heard a misstep in the breath. Wow. I'd be shitting myself. I hate heights. So, but we do know that she does train. I mean, I'm not minimizing what she's doing. We know that she trains a lot for these acrobatic things. You can also just see it. I mean, look at her arms. They're fabulous muscles. That's enough about not her vocal technique. Let's go back on that. Up on the C sharp 5 there, hand in hand. Before I send someone, let's just look where are we in the lyrics. So many ads on these lyric pages these days. Blah, blah, blah. Where are we? Hand in hand, wenn wir uns begleiten mit jedem Stein. Okay, so this is actually, I really think, but we've got very much sort of the melody has been written really well for this song because you're sort of staying on one particular note. It's allowing, we want to drop in the consonants, and that's kind of what she's doing, dropping in the consonants over top of the tone rather than going hand in hand werden wir uns begleiten, which you can hear I'm kind of like squeezing the tone and stopping after every consonant. So this hand in hand werden wir uns begleiten. We've got this lovely loose jaw there, which is going to be really important because she's literally like one very tense board for the rest of the body. Otherwise, you can't do this stuff, yeah? I say that with very little acrobatic knowledge, but I do know from dancing. Mit jedem Stein vor uns liegt. That's, again, in a very, very similar vocal position. I know, it might be coming from people who maybe aren't singers. This might seem like, wow, amazing. She's very experienced. So this is in a very comfortable position in Helene Fischer's vocal range. Just to give you an idea, she sang Let It Go in the German version of Frozen. So, she's got crazy, crazy, crazy vocal ranges. And also she sung I've been staring at the edge of the water. She also sang that as well in Moana. So we're looking at these very, very, she has got a lot more range to go, which is why I just think this just suits so beautifully with the performance. Hand in Hand werden wir uns begleiten, mit jedem Stein, der vor uns liegt. Oh, oh, oh. Durch dich glaub ich an Wunder und Zeichen. Oh, du gibst so viel von dir. Du verdienst nur Liebe von mir. God, we're going to watch that in entirety in a second. So, okay, so that, I mean, for those who, I'm assuming that people watching this video, honestly, are probably more German than not. So you probably understand it already. But we've got this, wir werden stärker jeden Tag Hand in Hand. Ich bin stärker jetzt durch dich an deiner Hand. So, basically she's saying, now that they're together, they're stronger, hand in hand, that they're walking together. I'm stronger jetzt durch dich an deiner Hand. Yeah, so I'm stronger because because I have you, basically, is what she's singing. And is obviously now, getting to know the song. It's also, reflected as well in the performance there. Again, honestly, though, it's very similar in the vocal delivery for the song. It's hand in hand. We're sort of hearing, let's just go back on that because I did really want to kind of point out, we're getting this sort of like slight darkening going on of the sound. I don't think that's intentional. I think that's just honestly because of the vowel that's being chosen. We've got lots of we've got this sort of like this sort of sound going on. Much, much easier for us to stay in that lane when we're singing these sorts of songs. And obviously she needs to put a lot more of the effort into I'm in awe. There we go. Yeah, we're up on the E flat 5 there. I think this is what a lot of people would probably call the mixed voice. I sort of tend to be a bit tentative about using the term mixed voice because it's a mix of what, but really we're talking about taking that thicker vocal folds much, much, much further out of the range, but not going into a belt. She's allowed the vocal folds to thin there as she's going further up, but we're still keeping quite a nice amount of contact in there rather than going into sort of a really noticeable head voice sound. Again, much, much easier to kind of stay in that sound because with the thicker vocal folds, with that amount of pressure that's needing to be built up because of this fabulous dancing and acrobatics, it is easier to stay in that thicker vocal fold because the thin vocal fold will be much harder to control because you're able to kind of like close here with thick vocal folds. And that, as I say, it just makes it much more stable here. So viel von dir, du verdienst nur Liebe von mir. Like nervous for them as I'm watching this. I'm just sort of like, oh, if that was me, I'd be very nervous. So we've got let's just we've got no movement of the tone. We've got like absolutely no quivering whatsoever. I cannot believe that I've never seen this performance. This is actually like a really like lovely moving ballad of hers. She sings in a musical style called Schlager here in Germany, and it's really not my cup of tea, but which is why I sort of haven't really gone that deep into Helene Fischer. But she is a fabulous singer. And, you know, say what you might about her. You don't have to like her music, but you can really appreciate. She is literally like, she's the epitome of really, really, really high class entertainer. She's entertainer basically, but she's, you know, she's not just a singer. She's also, you know, just a wonderful, like, look at these shows.
So stehen wir hier, Hand in Hand, tief verbunden, ein ganzes Leben lang.
So you guys say, whoa. We heard that there with that sort of like, she's taken the larynx down a little bit. That's going to darken the tone there. Rather than, well, she's, as I said, she's kind of staying in the same sound for most of the song, but with this slightly lowered larynx. And, and that's kind of like darkening the sound. That is though quite a typical German language setup though, with a slightly lowered larynx.
Halten alles aus. Wir werden stärker jeden Tag, Hand in Hand. Wir werden stärker jeden Tag, Hand in Hand. Ich bin stärker jetzt durch dich an deiner Hand.
Wow. What a brilliant performance. Oh my goodness me. This just makes me want to go to her next arena tour more than ever. Whew. My heart was just like pumping so hard because I just could think about, well, I mean, I would never do that, but it's just, oh my goodness me. Oh, my fear of heights, but also my just like admiration for her just grew so much. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite Helene Fischer song is. Live performances only, please. The Helene Fischer show is often pre-recorded, so I'd love to see parts from her tour. Would be really fantastic. It's actually been really hard to get a lot of them past copyright here on YouTube. So if you're seeing this, I have recorded it a couple of weeks in advance because I guarantee it will be blocked before I try and bring it out. Wow. Absolutely insane. Look, I'm not saying that you have to get to that point where you're doing like somersaults in the air hanging by a thread, but I do really want you to practice. And if you are looking to start your vocal journey, don't be discouraged by what you've just seen there. You know, Helene Fischer started just like all of us plebeians, and started with vocal lessons and started to learn her instrument. And that's what I'm here to help you to do with my online singing school, the Vocal Academy. We are accepting one-to-one singing students, so you can check out the link in the description below for more information on that. I have handpicked a fantastic group of singing teachers to really, really help you with your specific voice. So you come on board, we do a vocal analysis, we meet online, and then I will assign you with your vocal coach who I know is going to be the right one for you, from style, music type, energy, taste, and there's a whole bunch of factors that come into it and what they can bring to the table for you as well. So check it out in the description below. I'd love to see you there. Check out some more Helene up here. And I've got a huge goal for 2025. If you want to help me to get there, I know we're already halfway through 2025, but I'm going to get to 1 million subscribers this year. Help me get there. Subscribe to the channel and we can do amazing things over here on YouTube for free. Help you with your vocal technique. I've got to get on with my working day. There's a very long video. Have an awesome rest of the day and happy singing. Ka kite anō.